welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.
Sorry for that break in transmission, and before that happened, we were discussing how Nigeria is to adopt electronic voting, that is e-voting or digital voting, you may call it. We have the expert in the studio, Emmanuel Abba, a cyber security expert, as well as an advocate of what? Electronic voting. And don't forget, YY Sani, the presidential candidate of the ADP, has been seated in the office and discussing the major issue of the NCF. Gentlemen, once again, I apologize for the breaking transmission. All right. You were on, you said 78 billion was criticized under Jonathan, that the APC criticized the 78 billion released for election, while APC released 249 billion for election. And that aspect you were discussing is the financial cost of conducting this manual election. Well, do you think that it will not be more when you advocate or when we begin to carry out electronic voting?
Well, first and foremost, go back to the drawing board. Look at how we work now. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, most people work from home. Running cost is now reduced. Where you buy diesel and internet in the office, they are reduced. But the job is still ongoing. What I'm trying to make you understand is that digital technology makes life a lot simpler.
I'm your host, Daniel.
It makes life a lot simpler. Now, the cost of voting, if e-voting is adopted finally, the cost of voting would drop drastically. In fact, Nigeria wouldn't know they are even spending on voting. Then in each election year, every election day, every day they conduct election, general election in this country, the country lose billions. Why? Because the economy is totally shut down because of the election. That will not again happen if we start practicing electronic voting.
Is electronic voting not inclusive when you go to polling unit?
No. That's you may call it electronic voting if you like, but anything that has to be doctored by human effort is not electronic to me.
Okay.
For instance, you have smart cars now that you drive them without fuel. You also have cars you drive with petrol.
Yeah, let's focus on the electronic voting.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, anything that can be doctored by human effort is, you can't exactly say is technology. You have something that is aiding the manual voting. You cannot say you are practicing e-voting. E-voting means something that is seamless. I can be in my house, I can be in my office, I can be in school and still vote.
And that is also possible via the web?
Yes,
okay.
Very possible.
So they will have to give the website to all Nigerians, or how do we go about the e-voting?
Okay, let me simply digress a little. My company built a solution now that we've already submitted a partnership proposal request to the INEC Nigeria. Now, if adopted, it is a text-to-vote process. The voters don't have much to do. Anywhere you are in the world, just send a text. Every candidate, from governor, president, senators, House of Rep, even local government chairman, You just text. Everybody has a code. Then, according to the network service provider you use, you also have a code. So you simply text the person's code to the code provided by the network service provider. And it's streamed live, everybody watches it online. You don't have to have an internet on your phone to vote. But if you wish to stream live and follow it and be in the situation room like the people conducting the election, you can also do that for people that are educated. It is a lot cheaper, it is a lot simpler. Then the security aspect. If you look at most, like the World Bank,
or even the ordinary banks,
the ordinary
banks,
they have money in their banking system, in their savers.
Yes.
But it is difficult to break into that because there are people who are security and are in charge of making sure that those monies are secured.
The encryption.
Yes. So if your firewall, your back end is well encrypted,
with the advent of
then you don't have any.
What about the advent of Internet of All Things, IoT, and especially this Internet Drive 5G? They said it decrypts all encryptions.
That is a lie.
And that is what Trump said, accused China of.
No.
That anywhere you are, you could be decrypted. Any encryption could be, any cryptography at all could be broken by 5G.
Don't get it wrong.
All right.
Don't get it wrong. The statement was in part.
Okay.
5G cannot just decrypt encryption. Encryption is a solution that was put together by experts.
Yes.
The 5G was also built by people.
Yes.
There is a level it operates, if managed well. There is no encryption, there is no firewall that cannot be broken. And there are certain people that can build, because it is built by a human. And there are also security people who manages properly security encryption on back ends of systems that they are protecting. So it is a duty of such persons to make sure that what you are protecting is protected 24/7.
Okay, it is the duty of the, so there must be a kind of a gate pass.
It must.
Somebody mounting the gate.
Yes.
So that if there is any threat.
You detect and you neutralize.
Good. That is very, very nice to hear, at least. So why hasn't Nigeria adopted the system of electronic voting?
My brother.
Let me ask why Sani is itching to speak. He didn't speak on your own major NCF.
Yeah, I think one thing that's instructive here is the fact that the onus is on the authorities, particularly the executive. And then you can even reduce it to the irreducible minimum, which is Mr. President himself. I think he has a historic duty to perform.
Yes, because five times he
Yes,
contested, he accused them of
Malpractices.
and he promised
Fraud.
also that he will ensure we digitalize our INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission.
So he has that historic duty to perform, which I hope he will be able to do, and he should do, so that his name will be written in gold in the history books of this country, because he will be the president that will bequeath a system of elections in this country that will be peaceful, free and fair and reliable. Because any system that has no recourse, it's not here nor there. It's subject to manipulation, isn't it?
Right.
But electronic systems have recourse system. If you like, you can go back
And check.
Yes, not paper trail. You can go back to check.
Not the one they bundle the papers after election. You have to trace.
So
I wonder how many rooms will contain those papers.
By doing that, President Buhari would have written his name in gold, like I said. You should remember that the late President Yaradua wanted to do that. That's why he set up the Waste Committee.
Okay.
But God says He's not the one that's going to do it.
Justice wisely.
Yes, wisely. Yeah, I hope it is President Buhari that will, take that very, very fundamental, very important aspect of our life as a nation, by bequeathing to generations yet unborn a system that people will remember him for. And I want to also, which I'm sure he knows, that the National Assembly are not likely to be on the same page with him
on electronic
voting, regardless of what they are saying, what they are telling Nigerians. And I have my reasons for that. Majority of them came to that place via a corrupt system, which we are trying to change. And so, which means President Buhari has that unique opportunity now to rise to the occasion, given another unique advantage which he has, which is the fact that both houses are controlled by him. In fact, he controls also the judiciary and the executive and National Assembly. So I don't know how better it could be than that. So he should do the needful, which is giving us that, passing that bill. And he cannot just sit there and expect them to bring the bill to him.
It has to be an executive bill.
No, the bill is already there. The electoral bill that has been amended,
okay,
by the National Assembly.
Okay.
They have promised the nation that they are going to conclude the amendments, and then it will be ready for Mr. President to sign.
So you support electronic voting?
Certainly, electronic voting is it, because why? Look at the number of people that are killed at every election in this country. Look at the amount of money, like my brother here said, that is wasted. Look at the amount of time that we also waste, in doing in conducting elections. If you hear amount of money that will be spent on Edo and Ondo, you will weep for this country, because why should we spend that money on an election? Yes, elections are very important. More important than any other thing you can think about as far as governance is concerned, because that's your process by which you recruit leadership, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's nothing that can be more important than that.
Okay.
But there's a better way to do it, which is to go electronic,
all right,
and ensure that they are secured, such that they are not hackers do not hack into the system, and then also lead the election.
Thank you, YY Sani, because you have said it all, and I will give you 2 minutes to round it up, because you are the expert in that field. Have you heard about this Yahoo issues, hackers, and all those things? Like you said, the firewalls, somebody will have to be at the gate pass, and so don't you think the way Nigerians are?
Let me put it to you.
You have 2 minutes, please.
These boys have their limit.
Okay.
I don't even think they have the capacity to acquire the needed materials to even carry out that kind of operation in the first place.
It should be audible.
Should they have the training? Because you must be properly trained in this field to be able to think of breaking into certain things. Let me tell you why. When we built this solution, the firewall is the replica of the CIA firewall.
Okay.
It was built in America, in San Francisco, last year, and we insisted.
When you say we, are you talking? You are talking
we are
about
a team.
Okay, have the INEC adopted it?
No, they haven't.
So just tell us how the system will work, not we.
Well, I cannot completely tell you how it works security-wise. Okay. The security, but I can tell you how it works.
Okay.
Yes, in each election year, like I earlier stated, each candidate has a vote. Should we be given the opportunity to serve in that capacity? Each candidate has a code. Now, according to the network service provider of your phone, there will be codes provided. All you need to do is text your candidate's vote
to that code.
Meanwhile, we are using the bank verification number as the individual database as the available individual database that we trust here in Nigeria.
Okay.
We ride on that platform.
Okay.
Why? Because we trust that individual database.
Okay.
And we can control it. We can secure it. Everybody has one BVN, irrespective of the number of bank accounts you have.
One fingerprint.
Thank you. And everybody has just one phone number associated with the bank verification number.
Yeah.
So it is simple enough to encode every vote, so binding them to each BVN and that phone number. So if you text outside the phone number that is encrypted with the BVN, your vote won't be counted. If you try to vote twice, your name, your address, your hometown, your state, your picture will be sent back to us because of the DND messaging we are using. Will be sent back to us that you tried to vote twice. And we'll give it will be sent to us and be sent to the relevant security agencies. So the whole world will know that you are trying to cheat and for whom you are trying to cheat for. Because it will show who you are voting for because of his or her code.
Twice.
Yes.
And then immediately you will be arrested.
Of course.
You pulled, I think,
yes, so
wherever you are, your GPRS could be identified.
We would know where you are. Yes,
I don't think Mr. YY Sani, do you think Nigeria will ever adopt this type of electronic voting with what the expert here has just explained? Anyway, we have no time again.
I'm sure there will be a modified system.
Okay.
My reasons are that the rural areas where almost 70% of Nigerians live, they may not be as...
And the illiteracy factor in some regions.
But I think something in a modified form could be introduced.
No. Illiteracy has nothing to do with this.
Okay.
Right now, more than 70% of Nigerians are using phones,
exactly.
Irrespective of their educational background.
And it's not even all of them that vote during election.
You understand? So what I'm trying to say is that banks, we can, right through the central bank, he gives gives directives on our local banks to give simpler measures by which these people can get the bank verification number by registering, by getting an account number. Okay. And you see that Nigerians will hastily go and get it. Nigerians like to take instructions. We are very obedient people. And if we know that this will take us to the right path, they will heed the instruction. People get counted, a lot of votes get compromised, not because people don't know who to vote for, but because they don't have a choice.
That's right.
Yeah, correct.
So if they are given the choice, if they are given the ground, if they are given the opportunity to do the right thing, Nigerians are one of the best people in the world. They abide by rules, they abide by regulations. Don't worry, forget about the... Yes, in the world, it's been for 7 years. It was, awarded us for 7 consecutive years, the happiest people on the planet. Now, if we are given the opportunity to do the right thing, Nigerians will do it. A few persons may have tried to soil our images here and internationally, but that is not who we are.
Right.
Nigerians are law-abiding. Nigerians are peace-loving people. Nigerians are one big united people.
And we have to go on electronic voting.
That is my take.
Anyway, I would like to appreciate your coming, gentlemen, in the studio. YY Sani, the presidential candidate to 2019 of the ADP, and Engineer Emmanuel Abba, cyber security expert and advocate of electronic voting. It has been nice having you on Spectacle.
Thank you very much.
And this is where Spectacle will stop today on Television Nigerian. Follow us on our social media platforms. Drop your comments, and don't forget, Spectacle is also open for sponsorship. The numbers are already displayed on your screen. Get in touch with us and we'll serve you better. Thanks for watching, and I have been Daniel Atai.
Welcome to Spectacle on Television Nigeria. I am your host, Daniel Atai.